Hi, I'm Dr. Petty and Ford, and I just finished teaching a long lecture on protein, and I wanted to just talk about what is protein, how can you identify it, I guess, as a chemist, but as an eater, what can you do to optimize your protein intake? Protein is technically composed of amino acids, and there are 9 essential amino acids. And in the land of nutrition, when something says essential, it means you need to eat it because your body doesn't make it. So there's certain essential fatty acids, and there's 3 essential macronutrients: carbs, fat, and then protein. And so out of the amino acids, there's 9 essential ones that you need to eat, or there could be some deficiencies that could show up in different ways. It could be hair, skin, and nails. It could be different tissues, because protein is the substrate for a lot of new tissue growth. And there's 4 different types of tissues in the body. You have connective tissue, you have epithelial tissue, you have muscle tissue, and you have nerve tissue. And so in order to create those new tissues, you do need amino acids, and you have to eat them in certain amounts, certain varieties every day. Now, in our American society, people think protein and they think meat, but you can get protein in grains, you can get protein in some vegetables, and you can get some in dairy. So you don't, also grains, I think I said, you don't necessarily have to have animal-based products. And this is where certain dietary patterns sometimes get magnified, or maybe shamed for not having enough or having too much protein. So there's dietary patterns like the carnivore diet, or there's dietary patterns like keto that have an excessive amount of protein, sometimes 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. The technical recommendation medically that's approved in Western medicine is 0.8 to 1.5 grams per kilo of body weight. And that can range based upon chronic disease or kidney function, or weight restoration or weight maintenance, or any sort of injury to the tissues, which would require more protein because you're trying to heal from a surgical wound or any type of pressure ulcer. When there's tears or injury, you need more protein because, again, you need more protein to make any type of tissue, and there's 4 types in the body. Where you can find protein in the amounts is going to be dependent upon how it's prepared and the volume. You typically are going to measure it cooked, or it could be 3 ounces uncooked. And then I like to kind of, instead of ounces as you're weighing it, kind of the size of your palm. So 3 ounces is typically about the size of your palm, and 1 ounce is typically 1 serving of protein when it comes to meat. Then 6 ounces of yogurt, 1/4 cup of cottage cheese, 1 egg, 1.5 ounces of cheese. Most of the time people can look at the macros, and it's about 7 grams of protein constitutes a serving. So then that would depend upon how much soy you have, or how many grams are in the cow's milk or the non-dairy milk. So it really depends upon what you're eating and the volume or the weight. 7 grams would be the way to look at how much protein. Now, protein has been the hyper obsession in the last probably 5 to 10 years, and people are using a lot of collagen-based supplements. Collagen helps with connective tissue, which can be the epithelial tissue, which is going to be which is going to be for like hair, skin, and nails, or any type of tissue within the organs. And so a lot of times people will say, my gut health has improved because I've taken collagen, and maybe it's helping repair some of that tissue that's in your gut, potentially. It also could be it's liquid and you're getting more liquid. It also could be you're also, by taking a supplement, you're paying attention to all the other behaviors. So there's a lot of outsourced factors or outliers that could contribute to the beneficial gut outcome when you're supplementing with collagen. Also, it could be now you're finally having your extra 25 grams of protein a day, which your body hasn't had because you weren't eating collagen-based things like maybe broth or things that would help with connective tissue or epithelial tissue growth. Sometimes the populations that I see that lack protein the most are women ages 30, 40, and 50. And I don't really have any research-based reasons for that. This is purely anecdotal, but a lot of times when I'm working with women ages 30, 40, 50, they forget or they struggle to have protein-based sources. So if you fall in that category, looking for protein-based things for breakfast, adding protein powders to oatmeal, using oats, using lean sources of protein at lunches, adding beans to things, or making sure you're getting enough at most meals, and also eating 3 meals a day. A lot of times women will not eat at all until lunch or dinner, and then there's just not enough frequency to get your 0.8 to 1 grams per kilogram of body weight, which for most people, it's around 60 to 80 to 90 grams of protein, which can be, eating 3 times a day, 30 grams of protein, which is 4 servings at a meal. And if you're just eating animal products, that's 4 ounces of protein, or it could be up to a half a cup to a cup of beans, if not more, a meal, which it takes some intention and some awareness if you're getting enough, if you're just getting it from food and not supplementing. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, comment below on what more you would want to know about amino acids and protein intake or patterns.